What's up, guys? My name is CJ Finley with Thrive on Life, and today we're going to talk a little bit about blogs. So, blogging is one thing that you've probably heard before, and it's a hot topic, a keyword. Everybody tells you if you're starting a new business or a brand or a side hustle that you need to start a blog. And what you'll start finding is if you go to Google and you start looking around for how to start your blog, you're going to hear about all these different things: SEO, keywords, backlinking, where you should host your blog. Just so much jargon that goes into it. So what I wanted to do is break down and kind of get you away from all the jargon and really focus on what is actually necessary to get your blog off the ground and to find the initial momentum and traction to get you on the path to success, however you define that. So start with a little quick story here. My buddy Jeff and I, going back 5 or 6 years, I was actually afraid to start a blog. So I had one of my buddies, Jeff, give me access to one of the Wix sites that we were both working on. And we would write on this Wix site, and he would be the only person that would read my blog because I was afraid to actually post things. Long story short, eventually, just from writing, I got the balls to post a blog, and then I started seeing that people were actually reading it and reaching out to me saying, congrats, this is cool, asking me questions. And that fired me up to continue the momentum. And eventually I started a weekly blog. And that weekly blog eventually led me to raising some money and also finding one of my mentors, which has been critical in getting to this point today with the brand and with all the different projects I've been working on. So I'm very, very bullish on people starting blogs. I just think that there's a lot of mistakes that go into the beginning where you're overthinking things and trying to build for something I don't necessarily need. So we're going to run through, as you guys have seen, mind maps. I love them. It's a big learning tool that I use. So we're going to run through a quick mind map to kind of showcase how you can get a successful blog started, where you can then gain some traffic and take it however you want to do it. So let me share the screen real quick. All right, so blogging 101. So the first things that we want to look at when we're blogging, let me zoom out just a little bit, is kind of these are the pillars. Being valuable, you want to make a sticky blog, you want to be collaborative, engaging, curious, and patient. So let's go through each one of these real quick. So being valuable, what does that mean? So when you start your blog, you don't want to just write to write. So a lot of people just start their blog and think, if I write it, they will come. If I build it, they will come. This is not the case. You want to go into it with a little bit more strategy so that you don't waste your time. The people that have the mentality, if I build it, they will come. They get a couple blogs in, they get maybe a little bit of traffic, but then not as much as they were anticipating, and they end up just trailing off, and then the blog dies. But the initial way that you want to think about this is, what problems in your life have you had over the years? And then which ones have you solved? So you want to start with the ones that you kind of solve for yourself, because somebody else out there is going to relate to these problems. Then the next thing you want to think about, is it shareable? Will other people refer it to others? So what I would do is find 5 to 10 people you know that relate to this problem and send them your blog, get feedback, ask them what they think about it, and then potentially ask them to share it if it was meaningful to them. Lastly, I just mentioned this kind of, be open to asking for criticism and feedback. Ask mentors, other bloggers to check it out and get tips to iterate to the next phase. So as you can see, I kind of have like these pillars of find a problem, make it shareable, and then get criticism and feedback. Then I kind of give you this action step. So literally within the next 10 minutes of watching this video, you can think of a couple problems, write about them, make sure that you're able to share them with some people that they hit home with. And then once you share them, ask for criticism, not only from the people you shared it with, but from other people you respect in the space. So that's what I mean by be valuable. This is the space that you want to start not only blogs, but any project idea or business that you're getting into, make sure the product or service is always valuable to the person behind the screen reading it for you or the end consumer. The next thing is be sticky. So what I mean by this is you want to write blogs that reference other blogs you have written. Kind of confusing right now, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to showcase what I mean by this. Come on, internet. So I wrote a blog about hustlers and influencers and how they need to work a little bit smarter rather than just hard. And we're not going to read through the whole thing, but I'm going to show you how I start off the blog, and then maybe 1/4 of the way through it, I go, the first step to understanding what your goals are and what outcomes you are looking to achieve is setting goals. But then I wrote another blog about how do you set your goals. So within this blog, the internet's still not working too great, but here we go. Click here. So imagine this being up on my website, and I already have the one blog written, and now this X blog is opening up. This is called being sticky, meaning you're getting people onto one page of your blog or website, and then you're getting them to click onto another page. What this does is showcases how valuable you actually are to them, and that they're going to come back because you're a resource. That's what you should be striving for. So as you can see, I wrote another blog about how do you achieve your outcomes, aka how do you set your goals to get the outcomes that you want. And then even within this one, I talk about you need to be married to this mission because it will go above and beyond to help you conquer the path you're embarking on. To learn more about how to define your mission, go here. Now, I haven't linked this yet because I'm still working on writing that blog, but you can see that I've set up 3 blogs in a row to get to each other. Now, on that 3rd, 4th, or 5th blog, I highly recommend linking to potentially somebody else's blog, backlinking to somebody else, and maybe you can collaborate with them to shout you out. What that's going to then do is drive traffic to your sticky blogs and get a lot more visitors stuck on your page and potentially purchasing your products or your services. So that's what I mean by creating a sticky blog. The next thing we're going to go to back to is the mind map, and I don't know where it is, so let's find it. Okay, so we're through being sticky. The next thing is be collaborative. Ask 5 people you respect if they would like to write a blog for you. Typically, they will say yes because it is exposure for them. This exposure solves a problem for them because they are trying to grow their own brand, blog, or business. Always be problem centric. So find problems and then you're the person that's solving them. So any blogger or writer or influencer out there is also looking to gain exposure. So reach out to a few of them and see if they would like to collaborate on a blog with you. This is a great way to initially get traffic. And then if you'd already created sticky blogs with these influencer traffic to drive the traffic to this blog, you're going to get a lot of people coming to your page. And then you can look at your Google Analytics and see who's staying, where they're staying, what they're clicking, so on and so forth. The next thing is be engaging. What is the best way for them to take action with your blog? Can they create a video that you'll reshare? Guide them on if they'll utilize your blog to capture it and you'll reshare to your audience. This incentivizes your audience to take action rather than just to read it and forget it. Don't just write blogs to write blogs and think people are going to take action. Most likely they're just going to bookmark it and then forget about it. We're all super busy. But if in the blog in some way, either find a way to incentivize them to share it to somebody that they know, or take a video about how they're utilizing it in their life. For instance, if you wrote a blog about how to cook something, a recipe, and then you said, share your videos with us at our Instagram and we'll reshare you. So maybe you're starting a brand around at-home cooking, right? So then that's a way to create not just sticky content on your blog, but sticky content around your brand, where you're getting these people to take action off the blog and then share on another platform, which then your Instagram can then come back and push people to your blog. So you see how that kind of comes full circle. So people came to your blog, they went off your blog, they took action, they shouted you out on Instagram, you then reshared it, and then more people got driven to your blog. It's a cyclical cycle. So be engaging with all your content. Next thing would be curious, test different topics, blog links, content ideas, and see what works for both you and the visitors. The quote is, "We don't know what we don't know." So be excited to start figuring things out and have fun with it all along the way. You're not going to know what really hits home until you've pinned 10 different things up on the board and then see what your visitors engage with the most. So after following all the different steps prior to this, you want to test different types of lanes of blog types, and just see which hits home the most. And then my advice in the beginning is whatever hits home the most, go deep and narrow with it. Write another blog about that specific thing, or maybe just tweak it just a little bit, and then resend it out. So it's just like you continue to provide value in the channel that is giving you value in return. And then the last thing is be patient. Rome was not built in a day. Focus on getting 1% better every day, and the blog will become more than you had ever hoped for. So with my blog, I went from not really understanding what the hell I was doing. I was literally just sharing it to my best buddy and maybe my parents, and that was it. And then fast forward 2 years, I had a couple hundred people reading it. It led me to my mentor. It led me to some projects. It led me to raising some money. There's a bunch of different things that it helped with. And then today, I've let it drop off a little bit, but behind the scenes, we've been creating the content to relaunch the blog as more of like a resource hub. So I wouldn't know how to do that if I hadn't just started in the first place years ago. And here we are now. I'm trying to get other people to maybe start their own blogs and worry less about the SEO and all the stuff that you could probably pay a consultant for. But nobody's going to write the blogs for you. So you need to start with focusing on the product and your mission of that product. Because on the days where it's hard and you don't necessarily want to do things, you're going to have to continue to do them if you really want to gain that traffic. And the only way that you're going to get there is kind of if you've defined these back-end core principles. Again, the other tactics you can learn, you can take courses on, but you need to solve problems, make it sticky, be engaging, be curious, and at the end of the day, be patient with yourself and with your writing, and just see what happens. So this is another little tutorial from Thrive on Life. Would love you guys. Love if you guys could give us some feedback and maybe some other ideas that you're working on. We're just really trying to solve problems for people right now as COVID-19 is going on. I have this office that I'm alone in. I can't wait to have other people in here rocking and rolling. But until then, we're going to continue to focus on just providing value and seeing how we can help, and would love to help you on your project idea or business. Until then, this is CJ Finley. Thrive on, y'all.